Bon dia, bienvenido. It might be a trio of Englishmen on Match of the Day Top 10, but this time we're heading to South America. Yes, this is the episode of the greatest South Americans in Premier League history with Micah and Alan. And chaps, some of your favourites are on the list. We've had some cracking players from South America over the years, haven't we?
Unbelievable players.
Yes.
They do produce.
They took the Premier League, some of them.
It's crazy, though, because some of them are lots of skillful, but there's likes of, Zabaleta, who was just hard-working warrior, wasn't he? So you get, not all flair, you get a bit of graft as well.
Yeah, well, they're tough, uncompromising. They've always produced some of the great sides. If you look at World Cups, Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay had fabulous success, although not for a long time. And all their best players now come to Europe, don't they?
Well, that's how I would see a typical South American player. Forget them being as skillful as they are, Brazil or whatever. It's like how tough they are, how tough a lot of these guys have been.
Tough upbringing, a lot of them.
I think that's what
look at someone like Maradona, we've seen them, they're coming from tough backgrounds, Messi too.
That's why I think it is, and it's why a lot of them have been so successful in our league.
So let's get to our list because it's very impressive. Here is the top 10 of Premier League's finest South Americans in no particular order. 184 goals in 275 appearances, and a big favourite of Micah, Sergio Aguero. I think he'll be pretty high on his list. 3 stints at Middlesbrough. It's the little genius Juninho. Former teammate of Alan's at Newcastle, Faustino Asprilla. Now in his 9th season at Manchester City, it's Fernandinho. A then record 28 million move saw Juan Sebastian Veron arrive at Manchester United. He also went on to play for Chelsea, of course. An Arsenal invincible, Gilberto Silva. Chelsea's first South American superstar, Gus Poyet. The Argentinian who went from United to City, Carlos Tevez. Sensational at Arsenal and not quite so good at Manchester United, Alexis Sanchez. And finally, the Liverpool goal machine, Luis Suarez. So 3 Brazilians, 3 Argentinians, 2 Uruguayans, a Colombian and a Chilean make up our top 10. Have we missed any?
I think Zabaleta maybe could have been on there.
Zabaleta.
Maybe Zabaleta. Obviously, he's not got the flair of some of these players, but in terms of hard work, dedication, come as a midfielder, ended up taking my spot. He
would have been at 10 in your list anyway.
Thank God he's not on the list.
He's happy.
Precisely that reason.
But yeah, on a more serious note, he was a top player.
Yeah.
He could play anywhere, very versatile.
Any omissions, Alan? Think of?
Not
obvious ones.
Not obvious ones that would get into this list. No.
Therefore, let's get cracking. Alan.
I've gone Asprilla 10.
Ooh, right, okay.
Veron 9, Alexis Sanchez 8, Juninho 7, and Gus Poyet 6.
Ooh,
same, but just
same
different.
5.
Same 5, but
really?
A little bit different. I've gone Veron number 10,
Yep.
Asprilla number 9, Poyet number 8, Sanchez number 7.
Let me guess. Juninho.
Yes.
Well, that's good. That makes it easier when we come to work in
He's finally come to his senses.
things out. Now,
Got to give my little mate Nobby Solano a mention.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes.
He was a character, wasn't he?
He was a brilliant character, and he was a very clever, technically gifted, and he mixed in the dressing room superbly well. And he just took to Newcastle incredibly well.
Get the accent.
Mixed in with everyone, and everyone loved him.
Did the 2 South Americans that were at Newcastle, the one Solano and Asprilla, did they both speak English?
Nobby was perfect.
Was he? Did he have a Geordie accent?
He could try a little Geordie accent. The more alcohol he drank, then the more he tried it. He was just a brilliant lad. Tino played dumb, as if he couldn't speak it.
Yeah.
But he could certainly understand it. And that he used that a lot of the times when he was
with
late.
With the managers
when he was late.
Did he?
I mean, I think everyone will probably remember the day he arrived, didn't he, in that big long fur coat, because it was snowing. And you imagine he's...
Well, at least it wasn't sunny.
Yeah, I remember Terry Mack standing there. I wasn't sure whether it was a snow in Terry Mack's hair or whether it was just going grey. He was with him at the top of the stairs, and he never... I think Kevin bought him as the final piece of the jigsaw to try and win the Premier League from Christmas onwards, but it never really worked out.
He bought in mid-season, was he?
Yeah, I think he was bought in January.
So why was he loved so much then?
Because of his character, they just loved a bit of flair. They loved someone who was not scared to try anything, and he was a laugher and a joke. And the lads loved him in the dressing room because of his character. But it didn't quite work out how.
Did you get on with him?
Yeah, he was a great lad. Yeah. As I said, he was late. He was.
When you say how
do you know what it is? You just could not like him because of his attitude, because of his. He just played dumb. He wasn't dumb. He just played dumb, and he got away with murder. Honestly, he got away with murder. Whether he was out on a Thursday night or a Friday night when he shouldn't have been.
What did Kevin say about him?
Kevin just wanted him to go out and play his normal game. And
what was his normal game, Alan? On a serious question, what was his strengths and his weaknesses?
He was brilliant at running at players. Very talented. Technique, as I said, was superb. Scored the odd spectacular goal. Probably not enough with his ability. That's the one thing I would say in terms of why he probably didn't mean enough to him, or he should have done better than he did.
Is that why it's 10? Because it didn't quite.
Yeah, well, when you look at the rest of the players that they've gone on, some of them to score serious amounts of goals or do what they do in the trophies that they've won. That's why I put Asprilla at number 10.
Who was his competition as well? It was you, Asprilla. Was Ferdinand there as well?
Les was there. Peter Beardsley was there. Obviously, David Ginola, Keith Gillespie.
Who was generally left out of that? Not you, obviously.
It was mixed around, wasn't it? I mean, Kevin.
I suppose Beardsley was very much
towards the end of his career, but still had a lot to offer.
That's a hell of a forward,
isn't it?
That was Kevin, wasn't it? It was like that's the way he just wanted to go out.
Never play all of you, because he was very gung ho, wasn't he?
He would have definitely played myself, Les, Peter, David Ginola, and Keith Gillespie, because he might have found a place for Peter in the midfield, but in terms of not all of us in there, no. Now you know why Newcastle never won the league.
Veron.
Micah. Yeah. 10th. Veron. I just remember him being a bit of a flash in the pan. He had beautiful
that people thought, did he?
I think he's like Pogba. He's like Pogba, isn't he? Pogba's obviously stayed longer. But when you watch Pogba, you want him to do something brilliant every time. The same with Veron as well. You wanted him to just, score 40-yard goal a little bit.
I definitely agree with the Pogba comparison. I think everyone looked at Veron and thought, wow, what a player.
28 million.
28 million, which is a lot of money then. And everyone was expecting that of him every week. And I think he didn't obviously deliver that every
Not quite
week.
At Chelsea either, really.
No. You got them ones who don't work hard, obviously.
Yeah.
If you don't work hard, then you know. But by all accounts, he worked really hard and was a good lad, and it just didn't work out.
No. Similar thing could be said, certainly not at all.
Yeah, but he became a laughing stock at Man United.
Which was a shame, really, because he was such a top player.
He was a top player.
He was so good at Arsenal over such a long period.
Am I right in saying that he was about to go to City?
Yes,
yeah,
that was it.
That
was exactly it.
It was a very similar thing, not obviously a different player, but with what's happened with Ronaldo recently, wasn't it? Everyone thought he was going to City, then he suddenly, yes, he's definitely done with City, and Manchester United sneaked in and nicked him, but it didn't really work for Manchester United.
Didn't they bulk at the salary or something like that? I think I remember seeing about.
Let's talk about the Sanchez of Arsenal.
Oh, he was. I mean, the work rate was first and foremost, because I don't like praising players for work rate, but his was outstanding in every single game.
So only played a lot of it basically on the right side, didn't he, most of the time, or even the left. He'd play either side, but he very rarely played.
Creativity, he was a go-to man. He was sad when he went to Man United because I thought that was going to be a great move for him. I really did.
Indeed. Anyway, right, Juninho. We talked about Juninho recently, didn't we? As one of the great all-time imports into our league.
Well, he was
three goes at
and forwards, wasn't he? 3 times, to Middlesbrough. I don't quite see the attraction of Middlesbrough, but there you
go. Maybe you can understand the fact that he had to leave Middlesbrough a couple of occasions.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah. What a little genius as a player, wasn't he? And he did, because we've talking about how physical it can be in our league, but for a little skinny kid, he looked like player he was.
Yeah.
Class.
He was.
And he did look like this skinny little kid, didn't he? He looked up, the skill of him was just unbelievable.
Poyet, Gus Poyet.
Always scored against Newcastle.
Did he?
Chelsea, Spurs, always is the one thing that you could guarantee that he would score against Newcastle. Yeah. He was a brilliant player, timed.
Lampard, those kind of players that come deep and score a lot of goals from midfield.
I remember watching a couple of his games, but he didn't really interest me that much. No, but it wasn't a disrespectful thing. But some players you want to watch.
Yeah.
And because, like you said, he was more deep line running into the box, I didn't find that. He wanted someone, who was a bit jinky, like the Juninhos. That's who you'd want to watch rather than a Poyet. But it's only now you understand how good a player.
Because he just basically was just a goal scorer, and
Yeah, but I mean.
So what's wrong with that?
We want someone who's going to do a bit of tricks and whatnot. Do you know what I mean? We don't want those goal scorers. It's boring, isn't it?
Let the ball do the work.
No, I prefer someone who's going to create. David Silva sort of player.
Lovely guy, Gus Poyet. I don't know.
Really nice
guy. A couple of occasions. Yeah,
I worked with him once.
Yeah. Did you tell him
another broadcaster?
Did you say to him, listen, Gus, you weren't my sort of player. I didn't really rate you very much.
You know what it was? This is why. I know why it's come back to me now. Because he was supposed to take me to Sunderland when
he was manager.
When he was the manager there. And
that's why I didn't like him.
I remembered it. Someone was niggling me, and I just remembered now.
And why didn't he tell me?
I spoke to him, and he goes, "What's the matter? Why you not playing? Why do you want to come to us?" And he said something like, your forms, it's not good enough. The owners want to buy you, but if I'm being honest, I don't want to buy you.
Well, that's honesty.
I know the real reason. Because Sunderland couldn't afford the £1 million bonus.
Well, that's probably what it was, yeah.
That's what it was.
Right, top 5, chaps. Micah.
I've gone with Gilberto Silva.
Yeah, good player.
Top player.
Yeah, next one.
Then I've gone Fernandinho. Just longevity.
I thought you might be higher, Peter. Go on, 3.
Tevez.
Tevez. It's a line of City players coming in.
Suarez.
Except for this one.
Yes.
Controversial.
I know,
yeah,
Suarez,
okay.
but number 1, obviously, Aguero.
I think you'll both have the top 2, but I don't know, and we'll find out now.
No.
Different.
Yeah. I've gone Silva. 5.
Yeah, same. Yep.
I've gone Carlos Tevez, 4.
Ooh.
I've gone Luis Suarez, 3.
Oh, 3 low. Best player Steve Gerrard ever played with, he said.
Yeah.
Right, 2.
Fernandinho, 2, because of what Micah said.
Yeah.
And Aguero, number 1.
Well, you both agree on Aguero. I'm not surprised.
Guaranteed, wasn't it?
I would have agreed with that anyway if someone had gone elsewhere. Let's talk, Gilberto Silva in 5, part of the Invincibles, of course.
Exactly that, but no one ever remembers Gilberto Silva, apart from...
I think Arsenal fans do. I do.
Okay, Invincibles, you remember, what was it? Sol Campbell. Then you go Thierry Henry. Then you go Vieira.
Gilberto Silva.
He's never talked about Gilberto Silva.
He's about to be talked about.
But he's talk about just nullifying threat. Just doing that and playing this simple ball. I didn't, to be honest, like him when he used to go on his little mazy runs and all that. I didn't like that. Stay in the opposition.
Hang on a minute. A minute ago, you've just said you don't like Poyet because he doesn't go on mazy little runs. And now you're saying you don't like Gilberto Silva when he goes on his mazy little runs.
That's not his job in the team. Don't forget, I was an Arsenal fan, so I know you know, stay there, keep
And
it
Villa.
ticking
You're an
over.
Arsenal-
And Leeds, Newcastle.
I know you've had different clubs at different stages, but
City.
were you an Arsenal fan during the Invincible period?
Yes, of course I was. So
Of course you
Well, they
were.
were doing well,
Of
weren't
course
they?
I was.
Exactly.
Of course I was.
Yeah.
I started as Arsenal, and he was the missing piece, just ticking over. He's like the Gareth Barry in the year Man City won the league. No one talks about him. Everyone talks about the
Unsung
Silvers and
hero almost.
yes, exactly
I
that.
think he had a bit of a nasty streak in him
Yes,
as well. He did, didn't he?
he could leave on the
Definitely,
deck.
Yeah.
So what did you rate?
Gilberto Silva was he was a fantastic player. He just kept everything ticking along, moving along, and could do pretty much everything in that midfield. I mean, it's again the technique which you have to have, and he was solid. He was hard. He was reliable. I think he was an 8 or a 9 out of 10 most weeks.
Yeah. Tevez.
Oh,
4 and 3, respectively. Argentinian, West Ham, United, City.
he was a better. All-round game, he was better than Aguero. All-round game. I think I've said it many times. I might have said
You'd
that
have
to you.
seen them both.
All round, his touch and his
yeah.
He came to Man
Aguero's
City.
the
Better finisher.
quintessential goal scorer.
Okay, so he's the Tevez and you're the Aguero then.
No, he's
Because-
not Tevez.
No, because you said he's better at scoring. He's all-round game.
No, long
he's
range
better.
goals, long range. Yeah, I would
And
say
your
it's better.
yeah?
Yeah, fair enough.
Tevez, honestly, in training, he used to do things with the ball never seen before.
We're happy with that, aren't we? Comparing.
No, I'm just saying.
Tevez, yeah, there was nothing.
I'd be more than happy to be compared
He was
with either of
lazy in
those
training though, Tevez.
So was
the only-
I, yeah.
He was
No,
just
that's the
like
other way around,
lazy. But in the game, don't forget, when he come from Man United, he then transformed us to go on and challenge for things. So like, Aguero...
When you say he was lazy in training, in what way? Just...
not lazy, he was just laid back.
Yeah.
He's not doing none of the running stuff. He's always with the ball, technical. So in five-a-side, you want him because he'll score, but then if you have to stay with your man, you know when you do five-a-side, you got to stay with your man, then he's not chasing
How was
back.
that viewed upon in terms of the teammates, the manager? Because for me, it wouldn't. Because so long as someone goes out and produces on a Saturday, which very
His
did.
stats on the weekend were the best in terms of running.
Exactly.
He just downplays it during the week.
I can understand that. I can relate to that because I was a bit the same because I didn't like five-a-side. I didn't know what I was getting out of it. And that was he may be in the same thing because you got little goals. So when you're finishing, it's not how the real game is.
Oh, I loved five-a-sides.
You know, lots of players do, but I just thought, what am I getting out of this? If you're going to do running, I didn't mind doing the hard, I wanted to be fit. I didn't mind that. I just wanted, and it took me, I think, until I was like 28, 29, probably, to have the courage to go to the coach and just say, do you mind if I skip this and go and just do a load of finishing because I'll get a lot more out of it? And can I have a sack of balls and a couple of goalkeepers?
And they say yeah. That's
Towards the end of my career, when Terry Venables started to allow me to do that, when I went back to Tottenham. But yeah, Tevez was
sublime.
Yeah, had an attitude as well, didn't he? Hard working. He was at it, wasn't he? And yeah, goals.
What was that like? The fact that he came from Manchester United, Manchester City. Were you there at the time?
Yes, it was
like whoa.
When he come from Man United, obviously he wasn't playing as much as he wanted to, so we accepted him open on the map to be better in terms of where we played and everything. But Aguero always gets the credit. But Tevez was the one who started it.
What was he like?
He didn't speak to anyone. He come with about 7 of his family at training, and he just like
He brought his family to training.
Like he had his boys. He had like five of his boys who lived with him, and then sometimes he'd come with his
boys, like mates.
Like mates, yeah, with his mates, and then they'd come watch training. He'd have lunch and then go home. Didn't really interact with nobody. But it was nice. He could speak English. I think he was pretending like Asprilla as well. Pretending. He could speak English.
So he didn't
do no interviews.
Any mates with any of the players? Or was
it's only two.
Micah.
Oh yeah, it was just me.
You don't get the hint.
Me, though, don't you? You know what I mean?
You don't get the hint.
But then obviously Pablo Zabaleta was there, wasn't he? So who spoke?
Yeah. So they kind of stuck together in that Argentinian little.
And then when Aguero came, and then after that,
was he mates with Aguero?
Yeah, they was good mates together. Yeah, they was good mates together. But yeah, Tevez was the one.
Yeah, fantastic player. Fernandinho.
Already doing well. Otherwise, he would have leaned. He's fourth in my list. He would have been probably number 2, like Alan. Again, people like Milner and De Jong and Gareth Barry really started that.
Yeah.
And the team was getting better, and he just filled that gap. But he has been consistent. I think he's been at City now for 9 years, something like that. And when he first came, he was actually sick in pre-season. So, like, he come from...
Well, because of the
the intensity. We was doing... And we was thinking... We looked at him thinking, he's awful. Like, if he can't get through this...
Really?
The running...
You thought Fernandinho was awful?
Yeah, we can quote me on that. I thought, what is this? And then it took him about 2 weeks, and then we was like, wow, this guy is...
Oh, right.
Really? Yeah, he's 2 weeks, and he's back fit. And he was the best defensive midfielder we've had.
Yeah.
I think that's why I've got him high up on my list.
Yeah.
He's done it over a long period of time as well,
of
hasn't he? Mr. Reliable, isn't he?
Yeah, he wasn't... Because I played with, like, the Yaya Torres and Vieiras as well. He wasn't as talented as them, but he was more efficient than them.
Really clever football, intelligent footballer, right in that heart of your team, exactly what every great side needs.
He could smell danger, couldn't he? And I think most good teams need someone like him in the game who can just mix it up a little bit.
The thing is, as well, he's mid-30s now, isn't he? He's still performing brilliant. And were you surprised that he didn't get a start in the Champions League final?
Oh yeah, I was devastated because we went without a defensive midfielder, didn't there, City? So you'd think he's perfect for that game. It was disappointing not to see him there because had he would have played, I think it could have been a different.
So you're blaming Pep, are you?
Well, who said that? Nope, I'm not there.
But yes, he is. Luis Suarez, as I mentioned earlier, I think Steven Gerrard says he's the best player he ever played with in his career.
I can get that.
Absolutely brilliant.
Top notch.
He got obviously a slightly dark side to him on occasions that we've seen over his career, but you'd want him on your side.
Did they sign Suarez and Carroll in the same sort of month?
It was near, wasn't it? Because he was like 22.8, and then Carroll was like 35, was it? Yeah, it was.
And they got rid of Torres to Chelsea, wasn't it? It was those two, wasn't it? Kenny signed them, I think.
The year before Suarez signed for Liverpool, I went putting with one of my son Harry, and we went to Ajax. I did a thing with Eredivisie for a little while, and I went over to see a couple of games and watched this game with Ajax playing. I can remember us both going, "Who's that centre forward? Who is he?" So obviously, then you're going, "Oh Christ, who's Luis Suarez." Yeah. I thought, right, okay, keep an eye on him. And then Liverpool signed. I thought, "Oh, that's that." We were going, "That's that player." He'd scored lots of goals for a couple of seasons with Ajax, but often when he's in Dutch football, and some of them have not quite lived up to the expectations, have they? But boy, did he?
Spectacular. Yeah. Outstanding. You'd have loved him in your team. I know you've said he had a dark side, which he did.
But he never lacked bite in his game, did he?
Oh.
It took you long enough to get a pudding, Gary. I'm disappointed. It's been 2 hours now.
No, I'm just trying to hold back a little bit, which he never did. So why is Aguero ahead of Suarez? A really good side, and you had to sign one of those two, and you had the choice. Would you choose both at their prime? At their prime. Would you go with Suarez or Aguero?
Oh, that's a really.
What we're taking into consideration? Just football. Or we're talking...
No, I'm just saying, you're a manager, you need a goal scorer, you need a centre forward. Which one of those do you buy? This costs the same amount of money.
Probably Aguero for me.
It depends what system we was playing. Because... I know this is a new school pundit. We analyse everything, you know what I mean? It depends the system.
I think I'd go Suarez. I don't know what... I mean, they're so great, both of them. I think so.
It's different.
Don't know.
It's goal scorer. Aguero, if you ask me to one-on-one, who would I want in front of the goal? It would be Aguero.
If you could pick someone who need to score a goal in the 93rd minute to win a title race.
to get my only Premier League title to be clinging on for my whole media career.
Can I just say, for God's sake, just say Aguero. And I think that's the perfect way to finish.
We want the suspense though, Gary. Come on, you know that.
I think that's it. You've both got Aguero anyway. I think he absolutely deserves it. What a player, what a goal scorer. That's our list of the best South Americans in Premier League history. As ever, you can let us know your favourites using the hashtag MOTD Top 10. Obrigado and adios.